All right. How's it going, everyone? I am going to be doing a review of the Yiben yb50 scooter. It's a 49cc scooter, and my purpose for doing this is because when I was looking them up, as probably just like you, when you're interested in something or you're trying to figure something out, you go to YouTube, and I didn't see any videos that were helpful about telling me why I should or should not get this scooter. There's a few ones from, somewhere over like in Switzerland or something, and it just shows them driving it around, which is good, but doesn't help you really decide if you want it or not. And specifically, I'm making this because sounds like the neighbor's dog is dying over there. Jeez. Anyway, making this because specifically for times like today where you're looking for a cheaper way to get around. And I've had this for about 6 months. So I predominantly used it in Mesa, Arizona. And my wife and I traveled around the country this last year, and didn't plan it that way, but it ended up being that way. And I used most of my, it's kilometers on this, but here in the US we go by miles, and I've roughly got, let's see here, it's 266 kilometers. So I'd say probably way off, but 160, 170 miles, somewhere in there. I don't know. I'll look it up later, or you can, and that'll be good enough. But anyway, put some time on it. We drove all over Mesa doing errands, and the speedometer on this one says that it goes 80 and 50 in miles an hour. The inner numbers are miles an hour. Outer is kilometers an hour. It goes probably at very most 35 miles an hour with one person on it. I weigh about 185 pounds, 190, somewhere in there. My wife likes to ride on the back sometimes too, and you're lucky to go 30 with two people. So I'll say some pros and cons about it, as the video goes on. Overall, I would say this thing, for what it is in its own lane, it's not a fast scooter, it's not crazy, it's a cheap Chinese scooter. I got it for $1,100, I believe. So it's not going to be a really crazy scooter. I would say the word would be impressive for what it is overall. If you're not really needing to go super fast, I would say, probably doable, and I would recommend it. You can get this. This one was brand new. I mean, 2023, brand new, straight from China. Really cool. In our area, we have a homeless and recovery program around here that tries to get people back on their feet. And one of their programs for getting people into mechanics is putting these together and them working on them and stuff. So that's where I got it from, was this homeless shelter who's got a auto dealer type thing, and they sell these on their lot. And yeah, brand new, and pretty impressed for what it is. So let's get into actually what it is, and the features and things. So anyway, this, again, you're really going, probably at most, you are going 35 miles an hour one person. Downhill, you can push almost 40, but it doesn't like to do that. And the reason why is because it's actually a 4-stroke. The Yiben yb50 is a 4-stroke. It is only gas. It's convenient that way. But if you're looking to go fast, or faster, not fast, but faster, and be able to be a little more usable in a city setting, go with the Yamaha Zuma. My dad-in-law has one, and it's a 2-stroke, but with two people, it carries the weight well, and it rides a little smoother, just a little bit. This one's still pretty smooth for what it does, but the Yamaha Zuma is a good second option, and you can get them used for about $700 to $1,000. Brand new, I don't know what they are brand new. I would assume they're a little, obviously more than that, but I don't know how much more. I've seen them, you know, 2003 on up to 2011 for $700 on Craigslist. So definitely worth it. Just the thing with this is you're getting a brand new one. But that would be, you know, with the Yamaha Zuma, you're able to go realistically 45 miles an hour, pretty good. Two people, you're around 40. A two-stroke is going to be a much more powerful motor. This is a 49cc, and so is the Zuma that I'm specifically talking about. They have different cc's on those. This one's a 49cc four-stroke, so you're not going to get a ton of power out of it. Enough about the Zuma, though. Back to this. So things on here to keep in mind. You've got let me get the key. Here's the ignition. So this is Chinese scooter. So everything coming over from China is going to be translated in the instructions. This button, I have no idea. If in the comments you can tell me what this button is, I have no idea what it is. It doesn't say anything about it, doesn't reference anything. You also got this little spot down here. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a key spot of some sort. I don't know, it's maybe to take the ignition out, I'm not sure. But again, nothing about it is said. You've got a few things you can do with the ignition. You got obviously on. That's how you turn it on, obviously. And when you want to turn it off, turn it off. Don't hit this button all the time. You can, but it's an emergency stop. It's just a kill switch. The other way you can stop it, there is a kill switch in the kickstand. I've got it up on the props right now because you can't start it when this is down. But that does turn off when this is on. But I got it on the kickstand. So you have kill switch, electric start, turn signals, brights or lows. So you got the high beams or the low beams, and a horn. And the horn is very hilariously scooter-esque. This also little guy, I just took this to the grocery store. And it's really pretty good as far as that goes because you've got a grocery clip. Got a couple bags of groceries, throw right there between your feet. You got a lot of room here, pretty good. But anyway, and also, if you turn this without pressing it down, because if you press it down and you turn this, you can lock this. So see that now that won't turn. That prevents people from stealing it. Not that they're really going to want to, but anyway, without pressing down, you turn that, and that pops up. You got your gas tank, which is a ½ gallon, okay? So that's a difference between other scooters. A lot of scooters have about a gallon, maybe a little more. The Zuma does have a gallon. I think it's a gallon and a tenth. It is still very cheap to fill up. You want to put premium fuel in these. Any scooter, put premium fuel. It's just easier on the little motors that are kind of cheaper. I have some parts list and things like that, but my title and all the things in there. Probably should take the title out, but the registration and insurance goes in a bag. It comes with a little kit of emergency tools. I don't know what in the world you're gonna fix with this, but if you're creative, you can figure it out. Any mechanical inclination with this scooter is great. That's another, if you're somebody that's mechanically inclined, I would recommend getting this scooter if it fits your bill. But this is pretty big. So I got, obviously, my bag of registration tools and everything. We got a big bag of frozen cherries because my wife likes smoothies. And we filled this up with also some, I think we had some orange juice here. There was some toothpaste there. I just did a little grocery run. This is also recessed a little bit where the seat is. And it shut fine. Just totally fit right in there. So definitely a good grocery getter. As far as storage, we might go back to it, but this is also a big space for storage. Between the two of them and my wife and I and the groceries clip, we got a pretty good run of groceries there. One thing I did run into, that I can't show you now because it happened in Arizona a long time ago, but when I opened, or when I tried to open the hatch here, the trunk, it didn't open. And so I found in here, I don't know if it'll turn on, probably not, but up in there, probably can't see it. I found that is cable driven, like a brake on a bike, on a bicycle. When you turn this, it pulls a cable, and I reached my hand up in there, and I found that it was really, really loose. So when these are assembled, a lot of times they're assembled very cheaply, not a ton of attention. The rest of it's been fine, with the exception of this mirror. But you just pull this up, and there's a I think it's a 14 millimeter, 13 millimeter wrench you can put on that, and you just tighten it up. But that was a little trickier, and I pulled the slack out of that line, and I was able to tighten that up, but by just getting my hand in there and tightening it up a little bit. You don't got to take a bunch of stuff apart. You can to get your hand. My hands are huge, so they're like extra large glove size, so I did have to take a couple things to get some room over here. I think this quarter panel thing here I had to take off, but it was doable, and I fixed it, and now it works every time because the slack's out of there. Down here you got your battery access, I believe, and some of the motor access. Your motor's down here, down back in there, and it's really in this little case here. It's kind of fun to get to when I figure out how to do the oil change, which I think it's just this guy right here. I might do a video on that, we'll see. Because there is, again, no information on this thing. None whatsoever. You typically want to change the oil. It's in your manual, but I think it's 300 kilometers is when you want to change the oil, and it just does, like, I think it's 1030 four-stroke oil. I'll have to look at that again. Look at your manual. Get all the information you can from your manual, because I'm going to sound like a broken record. There is no information on these. I'm going to try my best to do a good, thorough review, but here's more. Got a whole jacket stuffed in there. Get the jacket out of there. And the little T-Mobile Eclipse glasses. I mean, big hands, and they're, there's a lot of room. Really impressive for what it is. For what it is, you're not going to be asking a lot from this little thing. It still gives you a lot back. And you can, if you're not into the trunk or the storage, you don't need it, you can remove this. And you have a little metal, spot to take a gas can or something and strap it down. But, I mean, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy going on here, so it's not like you're expecting a ton from it already. All right. So you got some side markers. This is the air filter, and I believe this is a moisture catch, because you don't want a ton of moisture in this little tiny motor. You do have a kickstart also, and that works phenomenally because this has sat. The last little bit of time it sat for a second or two, because I was actually in South Carolina for a little while, and didn't drive this down there. South Carolina roads are terrible, but I did see these around, and that's actually another reason I'm making the video, because I know they're all over the whole country, and people are probably wondering what to do with these things. But the kickstart does work really well. My point with that was that the battery might have drained down a little bit, and it didn't have enough battery juice to actually get the spark going when I'm also using the electric start. I don't know how much power that actually pulls, but I think it was enough to get the spark to be a little weak. I think that's pretty much it. Let me get it running, and I'll just set this up here for a second. Excuse the filming strategy. Whatever, we'll do this. It might work for now, at least. I'll get it running, and we'll see. You have to hold the brake on the left side to get it to start. Sometimes you gotta give it some help to start. It is carbureted, but you know, again, it's cheap. So, but this is kind of cool about this thing. So there's several styles that you can get with this thing. And this one I chose is a little bit more of a sharp look, more of a modern look. I think there was a red and black one and a green and black one. But this is the one I wanted. There are softer, rounder versions of this. You got headlight, flip your high beam on, really gets bright. I mean, really bright. And then you got these marker lights, kind of cool looking. And the rear end of it, got marker lights there. I mean, really a cool looking cheapo scooter. You got your turn signals. I mean, just kind of cool, you know. So, and then you can cancel them out by pressing the middle button. If you've ridden motorcycles, you know that. And then, like I said, you can just turn the key and it'll turn off. So there's a couple options, like I was saying. I kind of stopped because it was noisy, but you can get more of the modern kind of striking kind of look like this, where there's more, you know, sharp edges. You know, you got the whited out tail lights kind of thing. But the other option that I saw when I was there is, and I've seen them around the country, is it's more traditional kind of scooter light, you know, red, a little more, I don't know of a better way to put it, a little bit more of a blah, you know, and if that's your thing, that's fine. It's a little more bubbly style. This one I liked because it looked kind of brand new and modern looking. But anyway, the longer I have this thing, the more I'm impressed with it, but I do realize it's only good in so many applications. I'm not going to be getting on the highway with it or anything. You know, you're going back roads, jotting around a city. That's basically its purpose, and it does really well there, especially with one person. But I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's it. You know, you even got a cup holder up here and a little kind of a spot I put my phone here. I put my phone down in there, and that works really well. There's just things, you know, about it that are really kind of cool for the price and how new it is. You don't find things like this all that often nowadays. But anyway, other than the mirror and the you know, cable for the seat, I haven't had any issues with it. I mean, I guess I do have that. I don't know what that is. It looks like something got in the display. I'm sure I could pop that off and come right, you know, out. But do I really want to do that? No, I don't. So it's cool. I mean, and I've seen people take expansion chambers to this. You know, you got a kit where you take the exhaust off and you put an expansion chamber in. It'll give you a couple extra horsepower. That might be worth it, especially with how little of power you have on these. So other thing I found key, one last thing, tire pressure. Keep your tire pressure right at, I think it's 35. I have to look in the manual again, look at your manual. If you keep your tire pressure correct, you will be able to reach speed much better. This thing has to have all the help that it can get to get the speed. It really is pretty slow. It's zippy with one person. But if you're a bigger person, you might have a harder time getting up to speed, or if you're trying to haul your friend around. So anyway, hopefully there's more to come with this. I'm a little busy right now, but you know, wanted to do one of these because there is nothing out there at all as detailed as this about this specific scooter. It's a Yiben yb50 49cc scooter, straight from shipped from China, and you can make your decision if you want it or not. There's a lot of scooters out there that are faster. It's just this one's brand new and just is a different option. So all right.